You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people.
What's up, people? What's going on, guys? All right, so that's that They Live that I was playing there, guys. Just wanted to hit on something real quick, guys. This ain't gonna be a long video. I know I always say that, but somehow we end up on a long video. But the plan is not to be on a long video today. I just like had a little epiphany, man, and it probably was always pretty evident or apparent, but sometimes we're not paying attention. I think I've been guilty of that, right? Some of you have too. So it's not just me, but we're gonna talk about it a little bit, man. We're gonna talk about it. It's so obvious though, some of the stuff that's going on. So I was trying to think, guys. I want to get a video clip. I want to get a video clip to better explain things, but unfortunately, I don't think I can find it, and I don't want to download the whole movie. So I'll probably just go over with you and see where we at the end. Aside from that, before we get started, I did want to let you guys know. Obviously, you see the banner we got running across the screen is the Super Bundle. So we got about 5 spots left on that Super Bundle giveaway, which is the special that we were doing the other day when we had the technical difficulties and the whole site pretty much crashed and people weren't able to get the orders in. So we decided to run that again, and as well we did the Mother's Day special. So the Mother's Day special, a lot of people have been jumping on that. The Mother's Day special ends today. It will go, the price will go back up on the Mother's Day special. That's the FLEXFOUR. That price will go back up to its regular price of $180. The Super Bundle, we have 5 spots left on that. So people did jump on the Super Bundle. We have 5 spots left to reach 20 because we opened it back up because of the technical issue that we had on the site. Once again, I do thank you guys that did alert this, bring this to my attention when it happened, because I was totally unaware. But we were able to get that situation rectified, and we are going to have that until we sell those last 5. So we got 5 orders left on that. So if you like, you can jump on over to detoxificationbypurification.com and take advantage of those savings. Now, I'm going to dig into some stuff that we kind of touched on before, man, but I don't think we really grasping like the magnitude of what's going on or what's the situation is with how this stuff is being pushed through, like under the radar, right underneath our noses, and we're not really paying attention. We're not seeing it for what it is. And it takes me back, man. It takes me back to the They Live movie. All right. Now, some of y'all seen They Live, man. Some of y'all haven't. What's up, Cosmic Love? What's up, Walker with Full Armor? So some of us may have seen the movie They Live, man, and you kind of picked up stuff from. Remember, I told y'all before, though. I said that They Live kind of represents us as people in this world that we live in. Okay. And you say, well, what do you mean by that, Nick? What I mean is, like, you're not living or you don't understand life until you are open spiritually, till you have that connection, to you have that feeling, or to you're vibrating at the level that you need to be. Okay. And that's the whole intent of these beings and the stuff that they give us, these toxics, these poisons, the technology that they've implemented in us. All of that stuff is to divert our spiritual growth, is to hold us captive in these physical bodies, is to deteriorate our health. At this point, it's the DEPOP. So all of that stuff is being implemented, guys, right beneath our noses. And for the most part, man, people are too, and I hate to use the term, and I do use it, people are too stupid to see and figure it out and understand. Okay, they put the stuff in the movies. That's why I played the little movie clips, man, so y'all can see that the movies have pre-predicted things that are to occur, things that are going to happen. It's all predictive programming. Even like The Simpsons and stuff, man. The Simpsons pretty much detail all the evil plans of the elite. All right, I've showed y'all this, man. I brought the whistleblower that was on the inside with him, Donald Marshall, who said they got the folks that wrote all these cartoons, these movie scripts. That's why the CIA directly linked to the movie scripts. I told y'all that too, whether y'all remember it or not. But I pointed these things out, and then they said, I showed you that piece where they was talking about how the CIA, they was questioning them, like asking them, do y'all have people in the media? They was asking the CIA, and they were like, we refuse to answer that question. This stuff they were saying to try to keep from having to disclose what they were doing behind closed doors and using the mass media to program people. Okay, so they use it for programming, but they also use it for predictive programming. All right. Do we understand? So with that, man, a lot of stuff that we need to know, you can look no further than the movies, the cartoons, the video games to kind of get an idea of where things are going to go or what things are going to happen. All right. That's how they present the information to us that they do to us before they do it. All right. Because it's something about the universe and how they go about trying to avoid this karma from doing this evil stuff to us as human beings, or spiritual beings rather, by disclosing to us their evil plans before they do it. But as long as we too stupid to understand or see it, then it don't matter. Like they get off on the karma that they would inherit, and we go and fall victim to this, these sinister plots and agendas that they put in place. Does that make sense? So it's all working together, man, for them and their plans that they have for us. But what I wanted to point out today, man, is that I mean, we talk about the walk and stuff like that and how people avoided it, man. If you were somebody that avoided the walk, man, I applaud you. Congratulations. Yes, you passed. You passed one of the biggest tests that you probably will ever see in your lifetime. All right, which ultimately opens you up to be able to recognize other tests that very well are going to be coming down the pipeline. All right. And I tell people that because you need to understand you're not necessarily out of the woods yet. Does that make sense? You're not necessarily out of the woods yet. All right. I remember telling y'all, probably years ago, man. It was years ago. I told y'all, I said, man, they going to send first, second, third, fourth wave. They're going to send a lot of different waves to complete this DEPOP that they running. They're gonna run a lot of different waves. Most people not gonna see the first two waves. Okay, they're not gonna see it. That's the one that a lot of people fell victim to. But that's not the end of it. That's not the last wave. It's not the last wave. But understand this, guys. You being able to receive this information, because that's what it comes down to. A lot of it is being able to receive the information and being able to absorb it. Okay, like people take that part for granted, like, oh, it's just common sense. But what have we seen over the last several years? That common sense is not common. All right, common sense is not common. Most people lack common sense. Do you doubt what I'm saying? Most people lack common sense. They don't have a high level of intelligence. Okay, and I'm not trying to insult people. And if you took the walk, I'm like, this is not directed at you. For some people, I understand it was almost unavoidable in some cases. Okay, everybody took their lumps behind that, man. A lot of people dealt with a lot of persecution behind that, man, and ridicule and families disowning them. They was outcast. A lot of people dealt with that. A lot of people lost their jobs and things. A lot of people chose, hey, if it come down to I gotta take this job or I gotta risk my life, hey, I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna go ahead and lose this job. Like a lot of people had to make those kind of tough decisions, man. If somebody's in here right now, man, if you in the chat, put a thumbs up if you actually got faced with losing your job or taking a walk. If you could put a thumbs up in the chat, I just want to see how many people actually experienced that type of level of scrutiny and despair behind that decision. I want to see how many people we have just in here alone. If you actually faced that, like if they presented that to you in that way, put a thumbs up in the chat for me. I just want to see. But either way, guys, people were left with some unfathomable type of scenarios. Like, and I know personally, man, I know for me, I went out my way, man, and I helped stop some people. I know for sure, like I made some phone calls and some people listening took heed to what I was saying, and those people are fine. Now, like I keep telling y'all, common sense is not common, but the reason it's not common is because of the things that they've done. All right, but how that affects us today is we still, guys, have people that are under the influence of the different programming, the different technology, the different drugs, the different things that they've implemented in, whether it been the immunizations and whatnot, and the food and things that we consume. People are affected by this. All right, they're affected to the degree that they cannot think like a normal person. So when we go and say, "Oh, these people stupid," it's like these people are drugged. Let's be clear, they are drugged, and they have been pretty much their level of intelligence have been lowered by the drugs and the programming and indoctrination. So most of these people are not in their rightful minds. They're not able to use their mind the way the mind was meant to be used. And I say that because we look at how these things are coming down the pipeline now, and how people still don't recognize, still don't see the stuff that they do. Remember, I played a piece, man. I played a piece, and it's funny, man. It's funny, but it's not funny. Okay, I'm not even going. It's not funny, but the stupidity of some of the stuff that was said, man, and some of the stuff that was did, it make your head spin for somebody not to say, "Man, wait a minute, this don't sound right at all. This don't sound right at all." And I might play it real quick. Let me see if I can get it real quick, man. I'm gonna try, guys. I want to play this little piece so that y'all can kind of see just the stupidity of what they was doing and how it really make no sense. Makes no sense. Let me see. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. You know what? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Y'all know I be trying to dig for y'all real quick. Some stuff I be on the fly though, so I don't be having stuff exactly planned out. Just gonna go with the flow. To prepare. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna play this right quick. This is the kind of stupidity, man, that people fail for. But for somebody to put this out there, they gotta think that you pretty dang stupid. All right, they gotta think that you pretty dang stupid for them to put this out there. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna play that, guys. I think it might be a little risky. Oh man. I wanted to play it, but I ain't gonna play it, man. It might be a little too risky. But I'll just tell y'all. So there was a video. It was a video came out. It was a commercial, obviously, but the commercial said, in order to prepare for hurricane season, it was important that you took the walk. Okay. They was like, you can better prepare yourself to deal with a hurricane if you have the walk. And you know what the bad thing is? It was some people that heard this, and you know what they did? They went and took that walk. Because they heard somebody say, "Oh, the walk will protect me from dying from a hurricane." But if you understand, like, people that was dying in the hospitals from getting shot and stuff, they were saying that they died from, the actual virus. So you would think that maybe if you took the walk, then you wouldn't die from getting in a car accident or getting shot. I mean, if you put the two together, it makes sense, right? People dying from getting shot and stabbed. They saying you should take the walk to avoid dying from a hurricane. Well, maybe I could avoid death altogether if I just take the walk. But for somebody to say this stuff, man, and to think that it was okay and think that it was cool, like people thought that, like, if you couldn't figure out once you heard that there was something wrong with the message that was being delivered, and that something was amiss in the afoot here. If you couldn't figure that out by that commercial alone, then it's not clicking upstairs. You understand what I'm saying? Like something is not clicking. But what you have, I'll take it a step further. What people have to understand is what would give people the impression that they could push a narrative like that? Why would they think that you so stupid that you would believe that getting the walk some kind of way was going to protect you from a hurricane? You see what I'm saying? Like, who in their right mind would believe that crap? So the fact that they would say that just lets you know the level of stupidity that they believe that most people are. Okay? And you can't argue with it when most people knew the risk and they said, the hell with it, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? So, and I always tell y'all, what I always say, I said, just because you woke up today doesn't mean crap wasn't going on yesterday. All right? And when I say stuff wasn't going on yesterday, it was other things like this that they've been doing to us for a long time. They've been doing stuff like this for a long time, telling us do this and it's going to help you. And then they tell you, oh, that didn't affect you. If you saw my video, man, I just did it the other day. It was the babies video. I did the babies video, man. I don't have it. Hold up. Let me see something right here. I'm just going to put a little piece in here, man, so people can see it. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, man, make sure you get over there and watch that on either YouTube or Rumble. Either way is good. But I just did this video, man, the other day. And let me see. Let me put it in here real quick. Up, not there. Okay. So I just did this video the other day, man. But in this video, I put some important pieces and things, man. And in this video, you'll see kind of like some of the stuff that they tried to pull to hide the stuff that they pushed. So they say, oh, this stuff, the babies, they like, oh, there's nothing wrong. Like, you won't have any problem. And they pushed pregnant women to do that, man. Okay. Anybody in their right mind gonna know, hey, if I'm putting something in my body, it's a good chance that it's gonna have some kind of effect on the baby. It's gonna have an effect on me. The baby's feeding off me. We hooked up together. Maybe I need to wait. Maybe I need to think about that. But no, right? These people not in their rightful mind because they've been drugged. I keep telling y'all, people have been drugged. They don't think clearly. So they're going to be susceptible to all of this crap that they push at us. And they're under the impression, those that are above us, guys, they're under the impression that we like, it's like if you give, for instance, like what they say, Bill Cosby. I don't know if Bill Cosby did it, but I think R. Kelly was doing stuff. And Puff Daddy, obviously, I see what's going on with Puff Daddy, right? So these people, what they do, they go around, they get these women and stuff, they give them date rape drugs, right? They give them date rape drugs, and then they sit there and they look at them and wait until they look like they pretty drugged up. And then what do? They violate them, right? They violate them. They take advantage of them. So you got to understand, guys, the same type of method is being applied to us, just not in a sexual way. But they know that they've been drugging you for I don't know how many different years or decades that might have been going on, but they know that you've been dulled down to a point where you're docile and you cannot think clearly. So guess what? Now we can pour on the bullshit, right? We can pour on the bullshit. We can tell them whatever, and they're going to listen. They're going to do it. They're not going to be able to think right. This is how these people function, man. Okay, they already understand. They already considering it's a select few amount of people that's going to notice what's going on. It's going to notice what's happening. So they tend to focus all their focus on the folks that are docile, are not able to comprehend what's going on. Okay. And if they tell you something, all they gotta do is put somebody in a white coat. We talk about this all the time. Look, I got a white shirt on today, guys. So hopefully this message is resonating with people. You understand? I got the white shirt on today. I ain't got the white coat, I got the white shirt. All right. But I'm the expert today, right? So I'm telling you this, that, and the other. And because you've been programmed to listen to the expert in the white coat, then you're going to accept it, especially if you've been drugged down to a certain level. And this is what happened to most of these people. Now, we talked about taking a walk and whatever, and how a lot of people were not able to have that spiritual discernment. Okay, the reason I wanted to pull up the movie They Live, which I couldn't find a piece that I wanted to play for y'all, but it was a piece when the guy was on the TV, right? He wasn't a human being, and he was giving this message. He was giving the message, and he was saying, like, oh, the world is looking great today, and everything is going like it's supposed to. Now, mind you, Roddy Piper in the movie, he going through all kind of crap. Life ain't looking good for him, and half the human population was homeless and all this, that, and other. But this being on TV is giving a message saying everything is great. The things are looking up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, who are you talking to, man? Who are you talking to saying all this good stuff is going on when we looking at most people are struggling? They going through this, that, and the other, right? You have to think about that. And remember, like, the movies predict what's going on in our lifetime in the future, predictive programming. We already was able to decipher things in this movie They Live that actually apply to us in our real life today. All right. But in order for him to start to pick up on the stuff that was going on, as far as visually, he had to have on the glasses because that opened him up spiritually, right? There was a spiritual connection is what it was. That was symbolic of the spiritual connection that he had. What I tell you also is, yeah, you talking about visually, but we're not talking about how you hear things, okay, how you perceive things. Just like giving somebody a message. You go and tell somebody, hey, I don't think you need to do this because this, that, and the other. They can't get it. Okay, it doesn't register with them. Okay, you could show them something. They don't see it. It doesn't register with them, right? It registers with you because you on a different level than them. Like your concept of reality is going to be a little different than theirs. Your level of intellect is going to be a little different than theirs. Okay, so some things that you see in here, it ain't gonna be the same for somebody else. All right. And what I mean by that, man, is I'm going to play this little piece. All right. Play this piece real quick and kind of show you. That was the guy, the thing in the movie. All right. The movie They Live that I always tell y'all about. We always look over little pieces of that. I'm going over it one more time. In the movie They Live, there was a guy on the TV, and he was not a human. And he was sitting there saying, oh, things are looking up and blah, 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 blah. Things are great. But it wasn't great for the human population. It was great for him and them. Okay. He was talking about they folks. Now, let's go take that a step further and let's look at a video real quick. See if that helped put some things in perspective. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Now, y'all know this is a familiar character. Let me get this down real quick. It's a familiar character, and he always got some crap to say. So let's hear what he got to say. Hold on.
Melinda and I take the toughest questions.
This guy right here. Presentation. Let's see. Screen 2. All right, let me get the volume right, guys, so y'all can hear it. Okay, boom.
In this year's annual letter, Melinda and I take the toughest questions we get asked and give our answers. One that's come up for a long time is, as we make the world healthier, is the population going to get big that the environment is going to be impossible. Here we can see a chart that looks at the total world population over the last several hundred years. And at first glance, this is a bit scary. We go from less than 1 billion in 1800, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.4 billion where we are today is happening even faster. So Melinda and I wondered whether providing new medicines and keeping children alive, would that create more of a population problem? What we found out is that as health improves, families choose to have less children. And this effect is very, very dramatic. We find that in every country of the world, this is repeated. The population growth goes down as we improve health. So we've taken that chart that shows the global population growth, and we've actually extended it out all the way to 2100. And we can see that instead of continuing, it actually flattens out. Another way to see that is through this rate of population growth. And you can see that in the 60s, that reached a pretty high number, over 2% per year. And it's now come way, way down. Now, 11 billion people, still a lot, but the good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great about saving those lives.
So did y'all catch that? Did you catch what? Did you catch what he was saying, guys? The title of the video is "Who Are They Talking To?" If it's not apparent to y'all, man, and I do my intro, guys. I do my intro, and I had it up on Twitter before. It's the broadcast. The broadcast, guys, wasn't meant for us. It was not meant for the human beings. That video, basically what he's explaining is that if they continue to improve health, they are going to continue to depopulate. That's basically what he's saying in so many words. If we improve the health, if we improve medicines and stuff, we improve medicines, it causes us to have more death. Okay, we are actually lowering the birth rate. Less people are living from health. They're actually admitting that. They're saying, oh, if we continue to, we don't want more people being alive. He said that we don't want this. But he's not talking to us. He's talking to the beings and the cult that he represents, that he's involved with. The message is not, oh, let's do good health for everybody so that people can live longer. Let's do good health, which is not good health, because we understand that we got the most medicines and all this different stuff, and we got the most sickest people in the world in our country alone. All right. So we know that improving this healthcare that they keep on pushing is not the answer. Okay. But he's telling you, like, if we continue to improve the healthcare, we can lower the population growth. You see what he said? Like, I don't know if y'all tripped off of that. I might need to play it again. But he said, if we improve the healthcare, we can lower the population. Now people are like, well, that don't sound right. But we've heard this from him before. Must I remind you? I'm going to go back and I'm going to play the TED Talks piece, man. It's right there in your face what the man's saying. Let me go ahead and play that piece real quick too while we at it, so people know what time it is with this guy. If you doubt what's been going on, man, hey, look no further than the information that they constantly putting right in front of your face.
equation has four factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. First, we've got population. Now, the world today has, that's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
So yeah, guys, I just wanted to play that piece so we could understand. They're not talking when they talk like this. They not talking to us, okay? They're talking about us, and they talking amongst themselves. It's like they use the coded language, okay? The message is like we get the pre-programming, all right, but they'll do these national events or these seminars and things, and they'll be talking like right over our heads. Like, and most people can't figure it out, can't think. But the people they do think, they like, hold on, what did he just say? Hold on, man, rewind that. Play that back. That man, I swear that man said something about if we improve the healthcare, we can kill a lot more people, and we can start slowing down the growth rate. But like, what is he recommending we do? If he just said we need to implement this to slow the growth rate down and take people out, then why would people take anything that he offering? It don't matter, guys. People don't get it because these people have been dumbed down to a certain level based off the same stuff that he doing right now, the same stuff he promoting, right? So they already doing the drugging to dumb you down, but then they gonna institute these different medicines and things to take you out. And they telling you right there, but if you too messed up in the head, you're not even gonna think about it. I guarantee you guys, a lot of people watched that and didn't even and if they did, like if it did register for a second, they just blew it off. They're like, oh, he ain't say that. I don't think that's what it is. But it is what it is, right? So you think about that, like, well, how are these people this bold to come out and just openly say this stuff? They have to, because we talking about universal law. We talking about karma and stuff. This is the stuff that they do, and if you're not paying attention, you gonna miss it. Okay, we pay attention. I saw that video a long time, maybe 10, 11 years ago. So I'm like, okay, what did I miss here? Let me watch that again. I said that, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't catch that. Like, oh, whatever. He's talking about we need to improve healthcare and we need to get more vaccines. And these same people went and gladly take it. Like, think about this too, man. And like I tell y'all, it don't take a rocket scientist. Who in God's right mind is going to take a medication from a man that has no medical background? Who gonna do that? Like, he working on his first, like, think about that, man. He working on his first ever. Like, guys, I'm about to make a brand new medication that I ain't never had no experience. I ain't never did this before in my life. I'm about to make it, and then everybody gonna take it, and we just gonna see what happened, and we just hope that it works. Wait a minute, but you know when I first saw that he was even involved with it, I said, man, I done had like 4, maybe 5 Xbox 360s. All right, some of y'all had them suckers too. And last I checked, I had to send all 5 of them suckers back to Microsoft because they had the ring of death. Okay, funny how I had the ring of death, and then you got people now that's spinning around in a ring before they die. Microsoft, Bill Gates, same thing. Like, do y'all see that? Do you see the correlation? Man, you can't make this stuff up, man. It's right there in your face. Okay, the man made a horrible Xbox system. Horrible Xbox system. I'm just telling you, a horrible Xbox system. Because I got tired of, man, that mug was in the mail in between transit more times than I was able to play it. It was in transit more than it was at my house for me to play it. Okay? The ring of death came early and often. There was so many Xbox 360s that was going back and forth between Microsoft and people's homes, man. They had a delay. You had to wait like months, okay, to send it in or get it back. But this the same person that's all of a sudden going to start making you some type of medication to take. And it's his first one. At least with the Xboxes, he had made a couple of them before and they all was messed up. But the ring of death, that was a constant happening with those Xbox 360s. So now he experimenting on people, and people having the same ring of death. They just spinning around in a ring and then they dying, right? But you should have saw that the man was horrible with the Xbox, right? You should have saw that. And then what he do? What else he do? What else we know him for doing? People don't know, or people act like they don't know. But was he not making Microsoft stuff, putting Microsoft software on computers and stuff? Wasn't he a part of the computers that he was putting together? And they always seem to come down with these viruses, right? And then what you have to do, you have to go buy the virus medication for the computer. All the computers, you ain't never had a computer that ain't catch a virus, right? And they try to sell you the virus software. They try to sell you the virus software with your computer. Like giving your computer, essentially giving it the computer to walk. All right? You put this virus software on your computer, still catch the virus. But you... Oh man, hey, if it ain't apparent, man, that these folks have no they have no connection to humanity. They don't care for people, but they openly make these suggestions on what you're supposed to do and whatnot. So something else came to my attention, man. It's something that they pushing, man. Y'all got to be careful. You got to be careful with what they pushing, what they doing. Anytime, I tell y'all all the time, man, if they come out and they're promoting something heavily on TV, if they're pushing it, they're getting behind it, do not take it. Do not do it. Okay? Anything that they push and they promote is probably bad for you. You got to reverse it, man. You got to flip everything that they talking about. Okay? At this point, you should know that. Like, you should be able to assess these different situations yourself now. All right. And I tell y'all this all the time. There's not gonna be a special news bulletin that's gonna come out and they're gonna say, hey, we killed a bunch of people on accident. It's not gonna happen, man. They're not gonna send out something and say, hey, if you've been eating or if you've been taking this certain medication, then you're probably gonna die from this and this and that and other. They're not gonna say that, man. They're not, because that's not what they want you to know. They want you to continue to believe and trust in them. You have to continue to trust in the experts. All right, so they're gonna continue to push things. Yeah, you're gonna get those infomercials. I hate to see what this infomercial gonna look like in the next 5 years. Shoot, that infomercial, man, but ain't nobody finna get paid out. They got too many people to be trying to pay people out. But I would like to see what that infomercial was going to look like. All right. Because you already seen what the laundry list of injuries and stuff is looking like. Right. But who are they gonna allow to come on there and start to compensate people for these injuries and these deaths and stuff? If one person, they start compensating one or two people, man, that's gonna open up. Like, think about it. They are alone in the VAERS report. You really had over 80,000 that they had hid, plus the 17 that they allowed on there, which that was only the 1%. So you mean tell me they're going to go out and pay out millions upon millions of dollars to millions upon millions of people? Not likely. Okay, and you talking about over half the world's population. They're not paying out half the world's population, right? They're not doing that. So they're not going to allow anybody to come on and start telling, oh, yeah, like if you've been injured by this and that, you can get this compensation. It's not going to happen, man. They put the infomercial out like they do later on, but ain't nobody getting get paid out off of that thing. It ain't gonna happen. So what you gotta pay attention to, man, they had this, and I heard people talking about it, man. A guy I used to work with, he called me, man. He was like, man, everybody at my job, because he's like a school teacher or whatever, right? So he's telling me like everybody at his school where he works at are taking like this weight loss stuff, man, like this weight loss medication. All right. I can't think of the name of it. Let me tell y'all real quick, man, so y'all can avoid it. So I don't want none of y'all to get jammed up, right? Let me see real quick. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me a second. So we'll make sure y'all know, because it's important, man, because sometimes we don't know stuff. And totally, the reason they feel like they can do that is because they drug people to a certain degree. It's called terzapatide weight loss. Have y'all heard of that? Has anybody heard of that? Terzapazoid or tuzepatide. I can't pronounce it, man. But it's a weight loss injection. Yes, an injection. And look, from what I hear, it actually works. Okay, it works at helping people to lose weight. Okay. It's called like a GLPZ. I want to say it's called GLPZ. It's a GLPZ medication. All right. And it's something new that they just been pushing, man. I think Ozempic, I think that is maybe one of them as well. It's like one or two of them that they pushing out. All right. And these medications and things that they put out, man, they're not well tested either. All right. And they also are going to ultimately end up having the same effect that the other ones have, which is going to have some major side effects. These things are being put out there to further depopulate the population. All right. They're going to have some type of negative effects on them. All right. These are being put out by those same beings that are running the mass inoculation programs. All right. You got to understand, they prey on what they know that you want and what they know that you need. So they're going to put stuff out there, pushing in your face, make all these people buy into it, and it's going to push, and it's going to get itself going. It's going to kind of be self-driven because one person going to tell another, and they're going to tell another, hey, I use this. Like I said, my guy at his job, he was telling me like, yo, like everybody up here taking this stuff, man. They taking it. They losing weight. But I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to go to the gym. But all these people, they just cheating it. They taking this shot, and it's making them lose weight, and they feel like they good. They going to be straight. I'm like, okay. Remember in the movie I Am Legend, what they do? What they do in the movie I Am Legend? Y'all know I played that mug a lot too. A lot. And in I Am Legend, same thing. Everybody is like, oh, we got this new medication, this cancer medication. They also talking about they got the new HIV medication. They starting to push out these other things. Okay, just like they've changed all of these immunizations things. They started putting the mRNA technology in that stuff as well. So now you're starting to find that more people are going to be having these same problems with their blood. They're going to have the same stuff as if they went and took the walk. because they taking other stuff and they still think that we dealing with folks that have our best interests. All right. So what you guys have to start to do, and like I said, the reason I wanted to pull up They Live is because, yeah, in the movie, he started to be able to see things, okay, because he had the glasses. All right, but you also gonna hear different. You're gonna hear different, man, when you on that level. Some things that most people not gonna be able to trip off of, they're not gonna see it the same, they're not gonna hear it the same, they're not gonna process it the same. You'll be able to have a better understanding of it. All right, like these people are not only affected visually, and we know that because like you try to talk to them, they can't hear you. The stuff you saying don't make sense to them. Okay, and it's because these people have been drugged the way they are, and a lot of them, for the most part, their pineal glands are calcified. You better believe that. If nothing at all, they are definitely calcified. All right, so it's a reason why these people are so susceptible, and it's a reason why when you see one of these stupid ass commercials sit here and tell you take the walk and you'll be protected from a hurricane, you look at it like it's stupid and it's comical, right? And it don't make no sense. But I guarantee you, for somebody, not just somebody, for a whole lot of people, it make a whole lot of sense. You understand what I'm saying? So we can never like downplay the significance or the importance of them putting out that message and trying to mislead people. They've been doing it. Okay. And it ain't just start there. You got it going on, like I said, with the milk and stuff like that. They do that stuff. They do that stuff. So a lot of times you might not pay attention to it, but the people that's susceptible to that crap, they're going to buy into it. They're gonna accept that message. They're going to adhere to it. We may not, right? But for them, they're gonna definitely accept that message. All right. So it's important for y'all to know that, man, and look, kind of keep your eyes peeled about stuff like that. When they putting stuff out now, you know who they are. Okay, y'all know who runs these different corporations, these media websites, not just the media websites, but these media channels. Okay, you know, if it's on CNN and stuff, anything that's promoting these particular, like Pfizer, if you watch the end of these news broadcasts, they'll say sponsored by. Look who the stuff sponsored by. So if they sponsored by folks that's trying to kill you, then you better believe they gonna put some other stuff on there for people that's trying to kill you. Hey, as sad as it sounds, man, it's a real thing, man. It's a real problem that we have. I hate to say it, but just pay attention, man, because like I said, it's become real apparent that you have to start listening to these messages. You got to start listening to what's being said with a whole different set of ears. You got to start paying attention to how they distributing this information. And you got to be able to disseminate for the stuff for yourself and be able to tell like, yo, this don't sound right. All right. And if you're having a problem doing that, could be a thing where you've been drugged to the effect that it doesn't really register with you like it should. You might need somebody else with some better ears. I hate to say it, but that was the main thing I wanted to touch on, guys, is that like when you listen to these messages again, man, you can really kind of see what was being said and what they really trying to do. But for most people, like I said, it goes right over their head. That broadcast, and I play it all the time, man, at the beginning of my video, and I'm about to play it real quick just so y'all can know, and this is what I mean. The broadcast wasn't for you. This broadcast was for them. Just like this guy, I played this the other day too. Let me play it again, though, so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
But in one way or another, we are so far, globally, we are so far above the population and the consumption levels, which can be supported by this planet, that I know in one way or another it's going to come back down. So I don't hope to avoid that. I hope that it can occur in a civil way, and I mean civil in a special way. Peaceful. Peace doesn't mean that everybody's happy. but it means that conflict isn't solved through violence, through force, but rather in other ways. And so that's what I hope for. That we can, I mean, the planet can support something like 1 billion people, maybe 2 billion, depending on how much liberty and how much material consumption you want to have. If you want more liberty and more consumption, you have to have fewer people. And conversely, you can have more people. I mean, we could even have 8 or 9 billion probably if we have a very strong dictatorship, which is smart. That's, unfortunately, you never have smart dictatorships. They're always stupid. So, but if you had a smart dictatorship and a low standard of living, you can have it. But we want to have freedom and we want to have a high sentence. So we're going to have 1 billion people. And we're now at 7, so we have to get back down. I hope that this can be slow, relatively slow, and that it can be done in a way which is relatively equal, so that people share the experience and you don't have a few rich, trying to force everybody else to deal with it. So those are my hopes. I mean, these are pretty pessimistic hopes, but that's...
Sociopath, Club of Rome, Dennis Meadows. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him before. Club of Rome. But man, you better believe, man, if it isn't apparent, like I said, I just showed you video after video of people talking like this fool right here. Okay, talking like this fool right here about, oh, I hope we can do this, in a safe and dignified manner. We can do this to where it doesn't have to be violent. We can do this by what they say, process of natural selection. Think about that, guys. Let that register with you for a second. Process of natural selection. But think about it. They call folks useless eaters. What is a useless eater? What is a useless eater? Process of natural selection. You start talking about that, you start putting those two words together, and it make you think, right? It make you think, well, am I a useless eater? Just like the dude said in the little clip that I played the other day. We was talking about, what have you done to contribute to society? What is your purpose? Like, how are you helping anything? Like, what is good about you? And you got people out here that don't have a brain. And then you got people calling you useless eater or a sheep. Are you a sheep if you don't think, though? Can you even be considered like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you're not thinking, you don't use your mind, you just walking around eating. Basically what they saying, and you're consuming a lot of natural resources, what they try to say, oh, you causing all the carbon build up in the ozone and all that. So you're affecting the world in a negative way, and you don't even think, you don't even have a mind. So they consider you a useless eater. Okay. But if it was a thing, a process of natural selection, what would that look like, guys? Let's be realistic. What would the process of natural selection look like? What side of that would you be on? I hope I didn't strike a nerve with anybody. If it came down to process of natural selection, how would the selection be selected? If it came down to a process of natural selection, how would the selection be selected? Think about that. Right? Some of y'all might feel like you think that you might think you got smart people in your family and stuff like that. You got people that are smart when it comes to the indoctrination. Okay, and there's a misconception there or a misimpression of what's smart and what's not. You can be smart according to the elite in being a part of their program and their system. Okay, you can be a smart slave. Okay, you can be the slave, you can be the house slave that work on the porch, because guess what? You do everything that master telling you to do. You do everything master telling you to do. You think the way master wants you to think. So you the smart one. But guess what? Guess what? There's another slave that's in the back that's chained up, tied up, hanging off the side of the dang porch, right? Being fed dog food, essentially. Why? Because he going against everything that master tell him to do. He reading books, right? He's figuring out different ways to communicate, to pass messages and things. He's rebelling. He's understanding that he is a slave, right? And so what did they do to that slave? They chain him up. You see, they deprive him of meals. They tell you not to hang around him, right? He's the outcast. But you know what else he is? He isn't indoctrined, okay? He's not conforming. He's not complying with those that are considered the elite that have everybody else in bondage. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the correlation there? Now, I hate to give it to you an analogy based off of slave culture, but it makes sense when you look at it of why and how this is what we live. This is what it is. Okay? You got people that are essentially following everything that they supposed to do to the detriment of their own life, their own health, their own families. Right? Then you got those of us that did not, right? You was persecuted. You was told that at some point you wasn't going to be able to come into place and get nothing to eat. You couldn't go in the movie theater. You couldn't do nothing that the good slaves would do. Right? Why? Why? Say, why couldn't you? Because you thought. Because you actually thought about what the hell you was doing. If you didn't think, you wouldn't have been in trouble. Just like in the like I said with the slave analogy, if you didn't think and read and do stuff that you wasn't supposed to be doing, you wouldn't be in trouble. But long as you followed the rules, even though the rules was jacked up and corrupt, you was okay. You got rewarded handsomely, right? You got an extra meal. You might have got an extra day out off the cotton field, whatever. You amass a house. You see what I'm saying? You get a whole different life, a whole different perspective on life. As long as you don't think for yourself. All right? And you choose to live that life. Just like in the Matrix, what's that? Cypher or APOC? I think it was APOC. APOC, he woke up. Well, he knew after he got, taken out of the Matrix, he wanted to be inserted back into the Matrix. Why? Because he did not like the life of somebody that was awake. And I know some of y'all can relate to that. Being awake ain't a great thing when you know all this stuff. You like you living in a freaking nightmare. Like you living in the what I play on the beginning of my intros, the Twilight Zone. Guys, I play this stuff for a reason. The Twilight Zone, right? You living in the Twilight Zone because everything around you, everything that you thought was real is really just almost like a figment of your imagination, because it's not. The idea that we got this stuff going on here was never something that you thought about as a kid. It's not. You see? The fact that most of these people around you are walking zombies or walking dead. Funny, I think that movie really does stand for people that are sheeple. The Walking Dead. Because people think about it. They're not alive inside. Mentally, they don't think for themselves. They're not alive because you're not awake. You got to be awake to be alive and know what kind of life you're living. You got to know where you're going, what's going on out here. Right? A lot of these people have no clue. They have no clue what's going on out here. They living in a fantasy world, okay, and they being controlled. So either way, it makes for sheeple, okay? or what they would call process of natural selection. We'll just say that. All right. Those that process of natural selection is essentially those that actually can think would think their way through the crap. Those that cannot would not. If you cannot pass the test, you cannot graduate. You cannot go to the next class. You cannot graduate. You cannot level up. Okay? If you cannot pass the test, and in order to pass the test, you got to be able to think. All right? Regardless, don't listen to them and the system that they put in place and told you, oh, if you do it like this, that means you're smart. Okay, if you think this, or not think, but if you accept this as the answer, that means that you are high level intelligence. Okay, you have a high IQ. If you accept what we give you, okay, you're a law-abiding, able-bodied citizen. You see, but if you do any of the opposite of that stuff, then you're considered a outcast or somebody that's lacks intelligence, and whatever else label they want to put on you, but you are not the ideal candidate for any position, okay, that requires you to be indoctrined. All right. And furthermore, you probably misinformation, and you probably been listening to misinformation. But think about the lies that was told, everything that was said, anything and everything that was said on the news throughout the pandemic turned out to be what? A lie. 100% lie. Everything. All these poor people that fell for these lies. And here we are today, the people that actually thought about it was able to avoid the lies, avoid this trickery that they had up their sleeve. Think about that, man. Let that resonate with you guys. And like I said, man, pretty much everything that they push at you, you got to avoid it. You got to flip it. You got to reverse it. All right. Anything that they promoting, anything that they advocating for, anything that they are pushing, you got to be able to see clearly through that. Right. See clearly through that and be able to disseminate between fact and fiction. Okay. Truth and lies. Because that's what it really boils down to, man. And the reason, like I said, that they can push some of this stuff and nobody bats an eye and it doesn't seem apparent to them is because people have been drugged and they know that they've been drugged. They know that they drugged these people. That's why they know they can push some of this rhetoric out here. You take the dang walk and you could avoid the hurricane. Hey, man. Oh, man. Okay. Then, like I said, man, it's other stuff that they've said that it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. And I think even you go a step further, like there's studies that have shown that fluoride, it actually does damage to the teeth. But what do they tell you? Oh, you need that. It's good for your teeth. Okay. Why everybody's teeth still falling out? Like, you think about it, guys. You supposed to live. Let's say if they don't mess with us, which I believe that's the main problem that we have. If they don't tamper with us at all, right, physically, and mess with our ability to live longer lifespans, I think your teeth would have to last a little longer than what they lasting. But due to the stuff that they give you to do to your teeth and your bones, I think your teeth about deteriorating just as bad as your bones do from the fluoride that you're putting in your system. I believe that's what's happening. You know, like I said, I'm not a doctor, man. I'm not a scientist. But I think, man, some of this stuff, man, man, I think, though, when you look at some of this stuff, man, when you actually start looking at it like on the reverse side, because you know everything we've been reversing, we've been figuring out that that's what's going on out here. So I think when you start to really think like that, man, you start to see a lot of stuff, a lot of reasons why people have the problems they have. Okay. you start thinking, well, damn, I never looked at it like that. What if I stop this? Because I know people that have been taking certain medication for years. I'm talking about years, because the doctor told them they needed to take it, or that they was gonna have this and this problem, this and this and this going on. And you know what they did? Some of them people got smart. You know what they did? They stopped taking the crap that the doctor, the expert, was telling them to take. And what do you know? By golly me, they got real healthy. They got real healthy, right? And defied the odds. Yeah. And they pretty much did away with anything that the expert was saying. And they started to think for themselves, you know what, maybe I'm an expert too, because maybe I do this like this and it'll work. I've heard from an expert doctor told me I would never play basketball. I used to play a lot of basketball. Told me I would never play basketball again. My knee was too jacked up. I was going to have to, they gave me a cortisone shot or something. And then they said, yeah, you're not going to be able to play no more basketball. Like, you're going to have to keep getting these shots and things. I said, the hell I am. Went home, did my own rehabilitation, ain't took a shot since, was playing basketball just fine for over another decade or more. Right? But these the folks that are supposed to be the expert. So I come in there, you tell me I need to be coming to y'all to get this expensive cortisone shot on a regular basis, and this is going to somehow allow me to play or be able to walk, right? Because at the time I had my leg was messed up, my knee was messed up, and I didn't understand it. And they was pushing that yeah, you're not going to be able to play no basketball. That's it for that, you know. But we can give you this cortisone shot, and it'll make you feel a lot better. So I took that first cortisone shot, not knowing, obviously, guys, I've been a victim to the medical, malpractice, the medical tyranny that goes on. I took the first one, man. My knee felt great for about 2 weeks. After that, man, it went back to the same feeling. And I said, you know what? I'm not finna listen to these folks. I'm gonna go home. Rehabilitated myself, man. Worked my knee out, did all kind of stretches and workouts, strengthened my knee, man. Before you know it, I was back down on the court. Looked like I was back in high school. It ain't even matter. All right. That's just my own little testimony, man, to let you know that don't listen to what the hell these freaking expert liars say. That's all they are, expert liars. Right? The tell lies vision. Just like I showed, like the baby, and that's what I was talking about, the babies. Let me just play that clip real quick. I just want to show you why that tell lies vision do how they do, and the significance and what the kind of stuff you just gotta look out for, man. I'm just gonna play that little piece because it just shows you what they do. While the real truth is being hidden and suppressed, they jump on top of it and they tell you the lie. They tell you a straight lie. So I'm gonna play that little piece real quick. Just that little piece that I want to put on there. Hold on. Let me go to that little piece. You didn't watch it. Hold on. Boom, boom. Okay. Here you go. We're gonna play this one piece.
So before the came out, there were 1 to 2 fetal demises every 2 or 3 months. You would see one. I finally had enough when I got this email the other day. It said that there was a record number of fetal demises and that there were 22 of them in 1 month. And in this email, it said that it's projected to increase each month.
The fetal demise in mothers, gestational mothers, in that 22 to 26 week period. I had a run of that in my funeral home, and 5 of the 6 were, the other had remdesivir, and they all lost their infants.
We're just seeing a fridge full of babies, but we're not actually doing the funeral. So that's a mystery to me as to where these babies are going.
So you're saying there's more fetuses in the refrigerators now than there was prior to 2021?
Yeah, I'm saying there's more fetuses now in the refrigerator than I've seen ever before.
I've been doing high-risk obstetrics for 43 years. I see a vast number of patients a year. I don't know of any other maternal fetal medicine physician in this country that sees as many patients as I do by ultrasound. At one point in time this year, I was on track to see 9,000 high-risk OB ultrasounds. So I know what's going on, and I've seen death and destruction like I've never seen before.
The stillbirth rate is measured in terms of live births per thousand. And really it's come down in my career from about 10 to about almost 5.8 or 6. Now let's go to 2021 and look at the stillbirth rate for Michelle's. This is horrifying. But if you take this death figure and you look at that rate at 29.3, that sigma that you're looking at is 40 plus sigma, standard deviation. Let that sink in.
Zero % probability of the event.
This is from Waterloo, Canada. 83 stillbirths, about 4,000 deliveries. That exact same thing you saw with Michelle's. If that weren't bad enough, look at this. I couldn't even put it. There were 13 dead fetuses in one 24-hour period. One 24-hour period.
1,200-fold increases in menstrual abnormalities. And then when we get into pregnancy, we're looking at a substantial increase in miscarriages, in birth defects, a substantial risk of fetal cardiac arrhythmia, fetal cardiac malformations, significant fetal growth slowing, significant reduction in amniotic fluid, fetal cardiac arrest.
So you're saying babies are having heart attacks in the womb?
Yes. It causes a significant inflammatory effect.
3 different safety monitoring systems. Again, they found no significant safety signals for the mother or for the fetus, because we have to remember in obstetrics, we're dealing with 2 patients. So no increased risks to be while pregnant. Again, safe.
See, y'all see that part right there? That's what I wanted y'all to see, man. Like, look how they telling you all this crap that's going on, and then the Tell Lies Vision give you their explanation, or they tell you what's happening. It's a complete lie. Complete lie. And this is what most people fail for. Let me play that one more time. After all this stuff this man's saying. Hold on, guys. I think it just went down. Hold on a second. Let me pull it back up because it went down on me. 21. It's at the 21-minute mark.
Enough.
Okay, there you go.
Look at this. I couldn't even put it. There were 13 dead fetuses in one 24-hour period. One 24-hour period.
1,200-fold increases in menstrual abnormalities. And then when we get into pregnancy, we're looking at a substantial increase in miscarriages, in birth defects, a substantial risk of fetal cardiac arrhythmia, fetal cardiac malformations, significant fetal growth slowing, significant reduction in amniotic fluid, fetal cardiac arrest.
So you're saying babies are having heart attacks in the womb?
Yes. It causes a significant inflammatory effect.
3 different safety.
Now, watch the Tell Lies Vision at work, herding the sheep.
Monitoring systems. Again, they found no significant safety signals for the mom.
They found no significant safety signals for the mom. Okay, this is the lie they told everybody, but they also had destroyed all the data and got rid of all the information as it pertained to the study. And the study showed that it was 80% of the women was losing their babies. So if you took that and gave all these women across the country or across the world the walk, right, and 80% of them are going to lose their babies, or not be able to conceive, or they're like, we don't know if this is a thing where like every time you try to have a baby after that point, it's gonna be an 80% chance that you're not gonna be able to conceive or have that baby full term. Okay, you have to think about that, man, because that's what they aim to do. Remember, Janice, the whole mission was to depopulate or sterilize the whole human race, right?
Mother or for the fetus, because we have to remember in obstetrics, we're dealing with 2 patients. So no increased risks to be while pregnant.
Anything that causes inflammation in my business, in my area of expertise, causes damage, injury, death, and destruction in pregnancy. We've known that for half a century.
On March 1st, the FDA released the first round of thousands of pages of data submitted for review of their.
It's the 5.3.6 post-marketing analysis of the adverse events, in which they outlined that 83% of all pregnant women who got vaccinated ended up with a dead baby. They had 270 pregnancies. They could not account for what happened to 238 of those pregnancies.
Could not account for 238 of 270 pregnancies? Y'all, like, who believes that crap right there for starters? Like, who actually believes that they could not account for 238 of 270? Y'all whole mission, y'all whole reason for being there is to study these 270 folks. 238 people, you don't know what the hell happened. You know good and doing well what happened. They had something bad happen and y'all dismissed them out of the study. That's how they do. All right. Then after they knew that, they pushed it upon all these pregnant women. And all these pregnant women thinking, oh, I want to do what's best for my baby. I don't want my baby to die. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. But little did they know, they gave their baby a death sentence. Why? Because they couldn't think and see for themselves, man. Or think that maybe it's a good possibility of taking something like this as an experiment. I don't know what it might cause. Just like somebody in the chat just mentioned autism and stuff, and the rates of that and how that has increased 7-fold along with everything else. But it comes down to people being able to assess this stuff themselves, man, and figure out how this stuff relates to us today and what they're doing to us today. Most people can't because most people are drugged. There was another piece in that video where I played the guy. He was a mortician or whatever, and he was talking about they usually have like maybe at the most they might have like 3 babies that died, okay, which is still abnormal. 3 babies that died at any given time in there. And so they had the room that they held the babies in, the refrigerators, was only like 6. They only kept 6 refrigerators for babies because they're like, we don't need that many. He said that they had so many baby deaths. He said at one time, he said there was 30 baby deaths. Okay. And with that 30, it was so many that they had to start moving babies over to the adult freezer. We got to start putting babies in a whole new freezer. Y'all remember the video I played before a couple weeks ago where they was talking about we got too many bodies in the funeral home. They got too many bodies that's at the funeral homes. So the people are not coming to claim their loved ones. People are not coming to the morgue to claim their loved ones. Because the bodies are piling up because people are being hit with death so early now that it's so unexpected. And the dude was saying that too, like a lot of these deaths are at ages that they weren't supposed to be. I don't know if y'all tripped off of that part of the video that I played. The guy was like, man, it's more deaths amongst the younger middle class now than we've ever seen. And all the older people already that would have been dying like next year or the year after, he said they already dead. If you was getting ready to die, you just dead, right? So they don't get them. They just getting these younger folks now and the babies. So look at that, man. Look at that, how they spun this whole thing around to where now we getting deaths that we wouldn't even normally get. And this is why people can't plan for it. This is unexpected. All right. These life insurance claims is through the roof, 40% increase. Right. But I told y'all how I tried to go and I was doing the research. I did some of the research with y'all when I was on here the other day, but I was trying to do the research. And what I noticed is they try to stop everything at 2019, 2020. So you cannot compare the data between 2019 up to now to 2015, 16, 17, when stuff was actually cool, a normal time. They don't want you to compare the data. Same reason why they didn't want anybody walking around that did not take the walk. Why? Because now you have a control group. You have a placebo group, basically. You have some folks that didn't take the walk, and you got people that did take the walk. Okay, now if you compare that, now you see a difference in the life expectancy, the time that people are leaving here, expiring. Okay, which somebody brought up the Amish and the relationship between the Amish. If you know about the Amish, man, they don't take no walks. They don't take nothing. Okay, they don't take nothing. Okay, and reports have been coming out that they have not seen any deaths. Okay, they have not seen any deaths, and their community is intact. They're not experiencing nothing like what the regular general population is. Is that a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? I don't know, but I find that to be very interesting that they push that stuff on everybody but them in their community, and they seem to be just fine. But just like they told everybody else, if you don't take this walk, then you was going to be in trouble, right? You was going to be in trouble. The Amish, they ain't fall for it. I wonder, I would like to see some other stuff. I know the Amish don't have autism. I know that. That was something Steve Kirsch. I don't know if y'all know who Steve Hirsch is. I think it's Kirsch. Might be Steve Kirsch, but he published a study and some information as it pertains to the Amish and how they don't deal with autism. Their kids don't have autism, right? And if you know that, like, you would think, okay, well, let me look into it. And some people would find out that, yeah, it's true, but them folks are still going to take their kids to take their immunizations under the false premise that it's going to protect them some kind of way, even though the Hep B don't do nothing for them at that point in time, because their immune system isn't even developed enough to accept the Hep B or even have any type of immune compromise behind not getting it. But see, they trick everybody to believe that you need that, and that's what they're giving you. So if you're not really giving me the Hep B to do something good for me, what are you really giving it to me for? Is it to cause the autism? All right. Is it to cause all these other underlying issues that you have later? I told y'all about the NACLEs. I told y'all about the MC graph, the MC math, actually, that has to do with you being able to avoid certain uncurable diseases and things, and how they kicked in the dang doctor's office and everything and destroyed all that information and killed those doctors that was putting that information out that was basically curing all these folks and reversing all kind of stuff, autism, and completely erasing autism and stuff. So you start looking at that, man, and it starts to make sense for why things happen the way they do. You know, every time they got some good stuff that you can do that can help you, it get removed. But then when something is doing something damage to you, what they do? They promoting it. They putting it on the news, saying, hey, take this, do this, you'll be great, right? And the televised vision, televised vision, to tour the sheep, to basically to herd the sheep, man. That's all it is. So anyway, guys, I was not going to make this video any longer. Been on here about an hour and 40 minutes, man. Went over some stuff with y'all. I just wanted to touch that, man, because I think that needs to be understood, man. When we hear that stuff, this is what it really means. Like, they're lying to you, okay? They're talking right over your head. They're talking amongst themselves. They're using coded language, okay? They're using predictive programming, all right, to basically hide the information from you. They hide it in fiction when it a lot of times it'd be nonfiction. That's why I said the broadcast, guys, was not meant for us. Like when Bush gave that broadcast talking about we got a chance at this new world order, like, who's the new world order gonna benefit? It ain't to benefit you. So who is it to benefit? Think about that. Like, I'm gonna play that in closing. We'll play that. Let me see real quick. I think people need to watch that with another set of eyes. I always say that though, right? Watch it with another set of eyes. The broadcast. Yeah, here we go.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law.
Cut.
Understand, they are safe as long as they are not the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
The intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. Speared to death and blood.
An order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us innate.
Did y'all trip off how he said peacekeeping, United Nations? Told you, everything that they say, man, is a bunch of lies. The United Nations ain't keeping nobody's peace. All right? They're not keeping nobody's peace. The WHO ain't doing nothing to keep nobody in good health. Right? So anything that they pushing down your throat, putting in your face, man, is probably trying to do something bad to you. Understand that. All right. So anyway, guys, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. I just want to get that out there because I thought it was essential that people start to really understand this and start to think like that, man. I think you're in a better space if you're thinking like that, and just let's play the odds here. Let's learn to play the odds. Like, I'm gonna take my chances not doing that. I'm gonna take my chances not doing that. I heard what y'all saying, but I think I'm gonna do this because y'all got a bad reputation. All right, and if you smart, if you still got a functioning mind, you should be able to do that already anyway. Like, I don't listen to nothing y'all talking about at this point. Y'all have proven to me who y'all are. Y'all showed me who y'all are. I didn't show y'all. Them people on that video I just played, man, them wasn't nothing but a bunch of Dracos. Okay, a bunch of Dracos giving a message. But all of them, except for the guy that was saying the signal they trying to interrupt or whatever. But the other guys, Copeland and Bush, yeah. All right. They pushing that crap, man. That is who they are. All right. But they're the ones that they dictate what goes on TV, what goes on the news, what you receive, like what information you're to get. And that's why they trying to come down on everything now. They trying to suppress all the videos and stuff that tell you this stuff, that put good information out. Anything that opposes anything that they talking about, man. I told y'all, as a human race, we have been infiltrated. We've been infiltrated. All right? We've been infiltrated. The military has been infiltrated. The political arena, the government, all that's infiltrated, man. The medical science, all of that has been infiltrated by folks that do not have your best interest and are trying to carry out the same dang agenda. Let it sink in. That's what it is. All right? So, yeah, guys, we ain't gonna do much more today. I want to just get that out. Like I said, I will likely try to do a video probably Thursday. I might come on Thursday, man. Yeah, I might try to come on Thursday. If not Thursday, then it'll probably be the weekend. That's cool. We still got the knockout going for the last couple, man. We got a couple more spots since we opened it up to the 20 folks. The Mother's Day special, like I said before, that ends today. The Mother's Day special, which was $75 for the FLEXFOUR, which is $180 value. So with that FLEXFOUR, you get the New Dawn, you get the Body Shot, you get the Genesis, and you get the DE Parasite Detox. Okay, that's one supply of each of those. Okay, so that's a good start for us getting yourself cleaned up for the Mother's Day special. If you want something a little more stronger, a little more detoxing going on, obviously you got the super bundle. That will go back to regular price after we reach those last couple of spots on that. But right now it is the 120 with the code knockout. All right. So other than that, man, hope everybody got to check out the baby's video. I did the live on that, and I put the one on the channel, which was a little more extensive. All right. So either way, man, hope everybody's doing good. It's been a pleasure speaking with y'all today. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening, and I will catch you on the next video.
You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people. You know the person who had the greatest positive impact on the environment of this planet? Genghis Khan, because he massacred 40 million people.
Janus is to sterilize the entire